The next we're going to look at are cubics. Now, a cubic's the same as quadratic, but rather than 2 brackets, you have 3 brackets. Now, the best thing to do with a cubic is to multiply the first 2 brackets first and get an answer. And once you get that answer, then multiply it by the third bracket. So you're only starting off with a quadratic, which is fairly simple. So our first 2 brackets are x plus 4 and x minus 4. And if we multiply that out, we're going to get x squared, negative 4x, positive 4x, then 4 times negative 4, which is negative 16. So altogether, that gives us the x squared. The x terms cancel out because we've got a positive and negative 4, they make 0, and we've got the negative 16. So what we've done there is we've done the first 2 brackets, but we haven't done the third bracket. So then we bring down our answer, the x squared minus 16, and we're going to multiply all of that by the third bracket, x plus 2. And now take into account all 3 brackets, but we have to multiply it out. Again, this will work like a quadratic. So we have x squared times x, which will be x cubed. We have x squared times 2, which will be 2x squared. Negative 16 times x will be negative 16x. And negative 16 times 2 will be negative 32. And when you expand a cubic, you'll usually get 4 terms. Or you can think of it as you always get 4 terms. If you end up with less, it might be that one of them is 0. Moving on to a more complicated cubic, and again, we're going to work out the first 2 brackets, get an answer, and then work out the third bracket. So the first 2 brackets will give us 2x plus 2 and 3x plus 2. So multiplying that out, we're going to end up with 6x squared, 4x, 6x, and 4. And the middle 2 terms can simplify, giving us 6x squared plus 10x plus 4. So that's the first 2 brackets dealt with. Now to do the final bracket, write down your number, 6x squared plus 10x plus 4. And we're going to multiply that by the final bracket, which is 2x plus 3. And we're going to multiply this out. So 6x squared times 2x will give us 12x cubed. 6x squared times 3 will give us 18x squared. Then we move on to our second term. 10x times 2x is going to give us 20x squared. And just notice how I'm lining up the same kind of terms. They'll be simplified later. 10x times 3 will give us 30x. And now we have to move on to our third number. So we've got 4 times 2x, which will be 8x, and 4 times 3 will be 12. All that's left for the final answer is to add all of that together and make a single expression. So our x cubed term will be 12x cubed. Our squared term is 18 plus 20, that's 38x squared. Our x term is 30 plus 8, which is 38x. Then our whole number term is going to be 12 at the end. And so there's our final answer. So again, when you're expanding 3 sets of brackets, treat it like a quadratic, expand 2 sets, get an answer, and then turn that into a bracket to multiply by the third one. So we're essentially expanding double brackets twice to expand 3 brackets.